The notification sound from my phone cut through the silence of my empty apartment like a knife. Another text from Mom. I didn't need to look to know what it would say. Something about difficult times and how they really needed my help right now. My name is Nora, and for the past 8 years, I've been the family ATM. I set down my lukewarm coffee and picked up the phone. Sure enough. Sweetheart, things are getting tight again. The mortgage company sent another notice. Could you maybe send a little extra this month? Just until Dad's business picks up. Love you so much. Agukso. I stared at the screen, my thumb hovering over the keyboard. The same script, every month. Sometimes it was the mortgage, sometimes it was unexpected expenses, always urgent, always desperate, always my problem to solve. Another family emergency? I looked up to find Jessica from accounting standing by my cubicle, holding 2 cups of coffee. She'd been trying to get me to join the office happy hours for months. Something like that. I took the coffee gratefully. Thanks. You know, Nora, you look exhausted. When's the last time you did something fun? Something just for you? I laughed, but it came out hollow. Fun is a luxury I can't afford right now. Come on, 1 drink. There's this new place downtown. I can't. I was already pulling up my banking app, calculating how much I could transfer without overdrafting. I have responsibilities. Jessica's face softened. Your family's lucky to have someone like you. Lucky. Right. I sent the money, $1,200 this time, and watched my savings account dwindle further. The same account that should have been funding my own life, my own dreams, my own future. Instead, it was a lifeline I threw to people who never seemed to learn how to swim. The irony wasn't lost on me. Here I was, 28 years old, living in a studio apartment with furniture from thrift stores, eating ramen for dinner 3 nights a week, while my little sister Ria posted Instagram stories from art galleries and wine tastings. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Ria herself. OMG, Nora. Mom and Dad are planning the most amazing anniversary party next month. Wish you could be here, but I know how busy you are with work. Love you, sis. Attached was a photo of what looked like expensive floral arrangements and a catering menu. Anniversary party. With what money? I scrolled through Ria's recent posts. Designer coffee, new art supplies, a weekend trip to the mountains with her boyfriend Danny, all while I was supposedly keeping the family from losing their house. You're doing it again. I looked up. Jessica was still there, watching me with concern. Doing what? That thing where you get this look on your face like someone just told you your dog died. I locked my phone and shoved it in my drawer. I'm fine. No, you're not. And you know what? You don't have to be fine all the time. You don't have to carry everyone else's problems. Her words hit something deep in my chest, but I pushed the feeling down. I'd gotten good at that over the years. I should get back to work. Jessica nodded, but she didn't move. You know what you should do. Surprise them. Show up to this anniversary party. Let them celebrate you for once instead of just taking from you. After she left, I sat staring at my computer screen, not seeing the spreadsheets and reports. Jessica's words echoed in my head. When was the last time my family had celebrated me? When was the last time I'd felt appreciated instead of just useful? I pulled out my phone and opened the airline app before I could talk myself out of it. A flight home for next weekend, Mom and Dad's anniversary. It would cost me, but maybe it was time. Maybe it was time to see the gratitude in their faces when they realized everything I'd sacrificed for them. Maybe it was time to finally be the hero of my own story. I booked the ticket with shaking fingers, my heart pounding with something I hadn't felt in years. Anticipation. Hope. I was going to surprise them. I was going to walk through that door and finally, get the recognition I deserved. I had no idea I was walking into the biggest surprise of my life. The Uber driver pulled into my parents' driveway, and I felt my stomach drop. There, parked right in front of the house, was a brand new red convertible with a giant white bow on the hood. "Nice ride," the driver said, whistling low. "Someone's having a good day." I stared at the car. It had to cost at least $40,000. Maybe more. "Yeah," I managed. "Someone is." I paid the driver and grabbed my overnight bag, my hands shaking slightly. There had to be an explanation. Maybe it was a rental for the anniversary party. Maybe it belonged to one of Dad's business clients. The front door opened before I could knock. "Nora!" Mom appeared, but her smile looked forced. "What are you doing here?" "Surprise," I said weakly. "I wanted to be here for your anniversary." "Oh, well, that's unexpected." She glanced back into the house nervously. "We weren't really planning on—" "Nora!" Rhea bounded out, practically glowing. She looked amazing. New haircut, designer jeans, jewelry I'd never seen before. "You're just in time. Come see my graduation present." She grabbed my arm and dragged me toward the convertible. "Graduation present?" I repeated. "Isn't she gorgeous? Dad said I deserved something special for finishing my art degree, and Danny loves it. We took it up the coast last weekend." I walked around the car like I was in a trance. The leather seats were pristine. The paint job was flawless. The price tag was probably more than I made in 6 months. "How did you guys afford this?" Rhea laughed. "Oh, you know Dad. He's got his ways. Come on, let's go inside. Everyone's here for the party planning." The house was buzzing with activity. Caterers were setting up in the kitchen. A florist was arranging centerpieces in the dining room. Everything looked expensive. Everything looked perfect. And nobody seemed surprised to see me. "Nora, honey!" Dad appeared, arms spread wide. What a nice surprise. He hugged me, but it felt perfunctory, like he was going through the motions. "I wanted to be here for your anniversary," I said again. Of course. "Well, you're just in time to see how well everything's coming together. Your mother's outdone herself this year." I looked around at the chaos of preparations. "This must be costing a fortune." Dad waved his hand dismissively. "Don't worry about that. We're doing just fine." "But the mortgage payments?" "What mortgage payments?" He laughed. "Sweetheart, we paid that off years ago." The room seemed to tilt. "What? The house has been paid off for 3 years now. Thanks to all your help, of course." I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. 3 years. "Oh, yes. You really saved us, Nora. All those transfers you sent, they added up to quite a nest egg. But you kept asking for money. You said you were behind on payments." Dad's smile never wavered. "Well, there were other expenses. Rhea's school, the renovations, this party, family investments, you know?" Family investments. Exactly. And look how well it's all worked out. Rhea's graduated, the house is beautiful, and we're finally able to enjoy ourselves a little. I watched Rhea pose for selfies next to her new car through the window. She was laughing, carefree, radiant. "I need some air," I said. Of course, dear. You look a little pale. Maybe you should rest before dinner. I walked outside and sat on the porch steps, trying to process what I'd just learned. 3 years. For 3 years, they'd been lying to me, taking my money under false pretenses while I lived like a monk, sacrificing everything. My phone buzzed. A text from Ria. OMG, look at this pic. Don't I look amazing with my new baby? Blessed Hadash Jum graduation, Hada family. The photo showed her draped across the hood of the convertible, beaming. I was still staring at the phone when I heard voices from the kitchen window above me. I can't believe she just showed up like this, Mom was saying. It's fine, Dad replied. She'll be gone by tomorrow. But what if she starts asking questions about the money? What's she going to do? She gave it to us willingly. Besides, she's finally useful for something. Ria's voice joined in. God, she looked so shocked about the car. Did you see her face? They all laughed. I sat there on the porch steps, listening to my family laugh about how they'd played me for a fool, and something cold and hard settled in my chest. Useful for something. Finally. Useful for something. I looked at that red convertible with its perfect bow, and for the first time in 8 years, I smiled. I waited until everyone was asleep before I started digging. The family computer was in Dad's home office, password still the same as it had been for years. Ria 2000. Of course, I pulled up the bank statements first. 8 years of transfers from my account to theirs, laid out in black and white. The amounts varied, but they were consistent. 1,200 here, 800 there, sometimes 2,000 when the emergencies were particularly dire. Total, $127,000. $127,000. I scrolled through the outgoing payments from their account. The mortgage had indeed been paid off 3 years ago, in one lump sum of $48,000. My money. But the transfers hadn't stopped. They'd kept coming, month after month, while I ate ramen and wore the same 3 work outfits on rotation. I pulled up Ria's credit card statements next. Art supplies, designer clothes, weekend trips, expensive dinners, all paid for by Mom and Dad, all funded by me. The car purchase was right there at the top. $45,500 to Premier Auto Sales just last week. I took screenshots of everything and emailed them to myself. Then I went through my old text messages, looking for the manipulation I'd been too blind to see before. Mom, 2 years ago. Honey, the furnace died and we're looking at a $5,000 repair. I know you're struggling too, but we're desperate. I remembered that one. I'd borrowed money from my 401k to help them. Mom, last Christmas. Ria's been so depressed about not being able to afford her art show entry fees. It would mean the world to her. Just $800? I'd skipped my own Christmas plans to send that money. Dad, 6 months ago. The property taxes went up again. These politicians are killing us. Could you help us out with $2,000? We'll pay you back as soon as my next contract comes through. No contract had come through. There never was a contract. I printed everything and stuffed it into a folder. The next morning, I cornered Mom in the kitchen while she was arranging flowers. We need to talk. She looked up, startled. Oh, good morning, sweetheart. Did you sleep well? I know about the mortgage. Her hands stilled on the roses. What about it? It's been paid off for 3 years. You've been lying to me. Mom set down the flowers and turned to face me, her expression shifting from surprise to something harder. Lying is a strong word, Nora. What would you call it? We never lied about needing help. There are always expenses. Like Ria's car? Ria deserved that car. She worked hard in school. I worked hard too. I've been working hard for 8 years while you spent my money on luxuries. Mom's voice rose. Your money? That money was a gift, Nora. Family helps family. Family doesn't lie to family. We didn't lie. We just didn't tell you everything. There's a difference. I stared at her. You literally told me you were behind on mortgage payments. We were behind on other things. What other things? The party planning, Ria's expenses, the house improvements. None of that was what you told me the money was for. Mom threw her hands up. Fine. You want the truth? Yes, we used your money for other things. But look around you, Nora. Look how well everything turned out. Ria's happy. The house is beautiful. We're financially stable. Isn't that what matters? What about what I wanted? What about my life? What about it? You have a good job. You're independent. I live in a studio apartment and eat pasta 4 nights a week. That's your choice. Nobody forced you to live like that. I felt something snap inside me. You guilt-tripped me into sending you money every month for 8 years. We asked for help when we needed it. You chose to give it. Based on lies. Based on love. Mom's face was flushed now. We're your family, Nora. Everything we did was for this family. Everything you did was for Ria. Ria needed support. She's artistic. She's sensitive. And I'm what? A machine that prints money? Mom's expression softened, but not in a way that felt genuine. Of course not, honey. You're our responsible daughter. We're so proud of how capable you are. Capable of funding your lifestyle. Capable of taking care of the people you love. I looked at her standing there in her designer kitchen, surrounded by expensive flowers for an expensive party, wearing jewelry I'd probably paid for, and I realized something. She wasn't sorry. She wasn't even embarrassed. She thought she was entitled to my money. I need some air, I said. Nora, don't be dramatic. Why don't you stay for the party? Ria would love to show off her car to everyone. I walked out without answering. 20 minutes later, I was sitting across from my best friend Annalise at a coffee shop downtown. They spent over $100,000 of your money, she said, staring at the folder I'd brought. 127,000. And they're not even sorry. They think they deserved it. Annalise leaned back in her chair. You know you have power of attorney over their house, right? I looked up sharply. What? Remember when your dad had that health scare 5 years ago? You signed all those legal documents so you could handle their affairs if something happened. My heart started beating faster. I'd forgotten about that. Well, Annalise said, sliding the folder back across the table. Maybe it's time to remind them. I spent the rest of the afternoon at the county clerk's office, pulling records. The power of attorney was still active. Broad powers, too. I could handle all their financial affairs, including taking out loans against their property. Dad had insisted on it after his minor heart episode, said it would give him peace of mind, knowing I could take care of things. Ironic, really. I called Hayden from the parking lot. My ex-boyfriend turned friend worked in commercial lending now, and if anyone could help me understand my options, it was him. Nora, this is unexpected. How are you? I need advice. Financial advice. Okay, shoot. I gave him the condensed version. The lies, the money, the power of attorney. Jesus, Nora. I'm sorry, that's incredibly messed up. I want to know what I can legally do with this power of attorney. There was a pause. What are you thinking? I'm thinking they took my money under false pretenses for 8 years. I want it back. All of it. All of it. Plus interest. Another pause. That's a lot of money, Nora. Are you sure you want to go down this road? They made their choice. Now I'm making mine. Okay, here's what you need to know. With power of attorney, you can take out a mortgage against their property. The house is worth what? Maybe $300,000. $350, according to the recent appraisal I found. So you could potentially get a loan for up to 80% of that value. $280,000, give or take. My hands were shaking. That would cover everything I gave them, plus interest. It would also saddle them with a mortgage payment they can't afford. That's not my problem anymore. Nora! They spent 8 years taking advantage of me, Hayden. 8 years of lies and manipulation while I sacrificed everything. They're not victims here. I know. I know they're not. I just want to make sure you've thought this through. I've thought about nothing else for the past 6 hours. All right. If you're serious about this, you'll need to work with a mortgage broker who can move fast. I know someone who specializes in quick closings, but once you do this, there's no going back. Good. I went back to my parents' house to grab my things. The anniversary party was in full swing. Neighbors, family, friends, everyone laughing and having a wonderful time on my dime. Ria found me in the guest room, packing. You're leaving already, but the party just started. I have work tomorrow. Come on, Nora. Live a little. When's the last time you had fun? I looked at her, standing there, in a dress that probably cost more than my monthly rent, and something snapped. When's the last time I had fun? Maybe it was before I started funding your lifestyle. Her smile faltered. What's that supposed to mean? It means I know where my money went, Ria. All of it. Your money? God, you're so dramatic. Mom and Dad asked for help. You gave it. That's what families do. Families don't lie to each other. Nobody lied to you. The mortgage was paid off 3 years ago. She shrugged. So, there were other expenses. Like your car? I deserved that car. I worked my ass off in school. I worked my ass off for 8 years to pay for it. Ria's expression hardened. You know what your problem is, Nora. You're jealous. You're jealous that I'm happy and you're miserable. I'm miserable because I've been supporting a family of leeches. Leeches? Her voice rose. We're your family. Family doesn't steal from each other. We didn't steal anything. You gave us that money willingly. Based on lies. Based on need. And you know what? Even if we didn't need it, so what? You make good money. You don't have kids. You don't have a social life. What else were you going to spend it on? I stared at her. Are you serious right now? Dead serious. You act like we forced you to send money, but nobody put a gun to your head. You sent it because it made you feel important. It made you feel needed. That's not. It is, though. You love being the martyr, Nora. You love being the responsible one, the one who saves everyone. It's the only thing that makes your boring life feel meaningful. I zipped up my bag and headed for the door. Where are you going? To live my boring life. Fine, go. But don't expect us to feel guilty about accepting help from someone who is desperate to give it. I walked past the party, past the laughter, past my parents who barely looked up as I left. In the Uber to the airport, I called Hayden back. I want to do it. Nora. I want to do it. Set up the meeting. When? Tomorrow. I want this done before I lose my nerve. Okay, I'll make some calls. I hung up and stared out the window at the city lights blurring past. Ria was wrong about one thing. This wasn't about feeling important or needed. This was about justice. And I was going to get every penny back. The mortgage broker's office smelled like coffee and desperation. Marcus, Hayden's contact, was a thin man with nervous energy who spoke in rapid-fire sentences. Power of attorney. Property value $350. You want how much? $150,000, I said. Can you make it happen? With your parents' credit score and the property value? Absolutely. 30-year fixed rate, payments will be about $900 a month. $900 a month. More than they could afford, based on what I knew about Dad's sporadic income. How fast can we close? Rush job? 3 days. I have a lender who specializes in quick turnarounds. You'll pay extra fees, but money's not an issue. Marcus grinned. I like working with decisive people. Let me make some calls. 2 hours later, I walked out with a folder full of documents and a closing date for Thursday morning. I flew back home and spent Tuesday night calculating exact figures. $127,000 in direct transfers, plus 8 years of compound interest at 5%. The total came to just over $148,000. I opened a new bank account at a different institution, somewhere my parents would never think to look. Wednesday dragged by at work. I couldn't concentrate on spreadsheets when I was about to execute the biggest financial decision of my life. You look like you're about to throw up, Jessica said, stopping by my desk. Just tired. Want to grab lunch? You've been weird all week. Can't. I have a conference call. She gave me a concerned look, but didn't push. At 3 p.m. my phone rang. Marcus. We're all set for tomorrow morning. 9 a.m. sharp. Bring photo ID and be prepared to sign about 30 documents. Will the funds be available immediately? Wire transfer, so yes, money should hit your account by noon. Thursday morning, I sat in the title company office signing page after page. The notary, a bored-looking woman in her 50s, barely glanced at the documents. Power of attorney for Philip and Lorelei Harvey, she read aloud. You're acting on their behalf for this mortgage? That's correct. They're aware of this transaction? I met her eyes steadily. I have full legal authority to handle their financial affairs. She stamped the final page. Congratulations! You're now the proud holder of a mortgage. By noon, $150,000 sat in my new account. I drove to a quiet park and called my parents' house from my car. Mom answered on the third ring. Nora! How nice to hear from you. I was worried after you left so suddenly. I wanted to apologize for my behavior at the party. Oh, sweetheart, there's no need. There is. I was upset and I took it out on you. That wasn't fair. Well, I appreciate you calling. Your father and I were just saying how we hoped you weren't angry with us. Not angry, just processing some things. Of course, these family dynamics can be complicated. The important thing is that we love each other. Absolutely. Hey, Mom, you might want to check your mail over the next few days. There might be some financial documents coming. Financial documents? Just routine stuff. Nothing to worry about. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for calling, honey. It means a lot. Take care, Mom. I hung up and immediately drafted an email to my entire family. Hi, everyone. I've been doing some thinking since the anniversary party, and I realize I need to make some changes in my life. I'm going to be taking a step back from family financial matters going forward. I think it's time for everyone to become more self-sufficient. I won't be available for emergency loans or financial assistance anymore. I hope you understand. Love. Nora. I scheduled it to send Friday morning and closed my laptop. My phone buzzed with a text from Ria. OMG, look at this sunset from the beach. Danny surprised me with a romantic getaway. Life is so good. Shab blessed, Shaj living my best life. The photo showed her lounging in what looked like an expensive resort, cocktail in hand, that red convertible visible in the background. I stared at the image for a long moment, then typed back. Enjoy it while it lasts. She responded immediately. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. Just enjoy your trip. You're being weird, Nora. I didn't respond. Friday morning arrived, grey and drizzly. I was in the middle of a budget meeting when my phone started buzzing incessantly. Dad's name flashed on the screen. Then Mom's. Then Ria's. I let them all go to voicemail. During my lunch break, I listened to the messages. Dad, voice tight with panic. Nora, we got some papers from a mortgage company. There's been some kind of mistake. Call me back immediately. Mom, crying. Honey, please call us. We don't understand what's happening. The bank says we owe money on the house, but that's impossible. Please call. Ria, furious. What the hell did you do? Mom's having a panic attack and Dad's threatening to call the police. Call me back right now. I deleted all the messages and went back to work. At 5 p.m., I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. This is Emily, your cousin. Your parents asked me to reach out. They're really scared and confused. Can you please call them? I blocked the number. That evening, I poured myself a glass of wine and sat on my tiny balcony, watching the city lights twinkle below. Somewhere, 300 miles away, my family was discovering that actions have consequences. And for the first time in 8 years, that wasn't my problem to solve. The family group chat that I'd muted for years suddenly came alive. I watched the messages pile up from my couch, eating takeout Chinese food that I'd actually ordered from somewhere decent for once, instead of the cheapest place on the app. Mom. Has anyone heard from Nora? We really need to talk to her. Ria. She's being completely unreasonable. Won't answer my calls. Dad. This is ridiculous. She needs to fix this mess immediately. Aunt Carol. What mess? What's going on? Mom. Someone took out a mortgage on our house. We think it might be identity theft. I nearly choked on my lo mein. Uncle Pete. Have you called the police? Dad. We're handling it. Just need to reach Nora first. Ria. She's probably at work. You know how she is about her precious job. I screenshotted that one. The messages continued throughout the weekend, my family spinning increasingly elaborate theories about hackers and scammers, while carefully avoiding any mention of the power of attorney I held. Monday morning brought a new development, a text from someone named Sarah. Hi, this is Sarah from your dad's office. He asked me to reach out because he can't get through to you. He says it's urgent family business. I Googled the number. It belonged to a temp agency, so Dad was having strangers call me now. I blocked that number too. Tuesday, the group chat exploded again. Mom. The bank confirmed the mortgage is real. They're saying Nora signed the papers. Aunt Carol. Nora took out a mortgage on your house? Why would she do that? Long pause. Then, Dad. There's been a misunderstanding. We're working it out privately. Ria. She's lost her mind. Completely lost it. Uncle Pete. Maybe she needed the money for something. Medical bills. Mom. She should have just asked us for help. I laughed out loud at that one. Wednesday brought voicemails from numbers I didn't recognize. Family, friends, distant relatives, all with the same script. Your parents are worried sick. Please call them. I started a new hobby, blocking numbers. Thursday, Ria tried a different approach. She posted on social media, dealing with some family drama right now. Sometimes the people closest to you are the ones who hurt you most. Feeling grateful for my real friends who actually care about me. Family isn't everything. Toxic people, blessed. The comments poured in. So sorry you're going through this. Family can be the worst. You deserve better. If only they knew. Friday afternoon, I was leaving work when I spotted a familiar figure in the lobby. Danny, Ria's boyfriend. He approached me with his hands up, like I was a wild animal. Nora, hey, don't freak out, okay? I just want to talk. How did you find me? Ria told me where you work. Look, I know you're angry. I'm not angry. I'm done. Your family is falling apart. Your mom hasn't stopped crying for a week. That's unfortunate. Danny's face flushed. Jesus, you're cold. These are your parents we're talking about. These are the people who stole from me for 8 years. They didn't steal anything. They asked for help and you gave it. Based on lies. So what? Families help each other out. That's what you do when you love someone. Is that what Ria told you? Ria told me you've always been jealous of her, that you can't stand seeing her happy. I started walking toward the parking garage. Danny followed. She said you've been weird and bitter for years, that you blame everyone else for your problems instead of taking responsibility for your own life. I stopped walking. Taking responsibility? Yeah. Like, maybe if you actually tried to have a social life or a relationship, you wouldn't be so obsessed with controlling your family's finances. Controlling their finances? That's what this is about, right? You want them to be dependent on you so you feel important. I turned to face him fully. Danny, how much do you know about Ria's expenses? What do you mean? Her car, her clothes, her trips, her art supplies. Do you know where that money comes from? Her parents help her out sometimes. So what? Lots of parents support their kids. With what money? I don't know, man. That's not my business. It was my money, Danny. Every penny of it. For 8 years. His confident expression wavered slightly. That's not... Ria said you just helped with emergencies. Ria's car cost $43,000. I have the receipt. Look, even if that's true. It is true. I have 8 years of bank records. Even if it's true, that doesn't give you the right to destroy their lives. I didn't destroy anything. I just stopped being their personal ATM. You took out a mortgage on their house. I took back what was mine. Danny stared at me. You're seriously going to let them lose their home? They're not going to lose their home. They're going to pay for it, like adults. With what money? Your dad's business is barely breaking even and your mom doesn't work. Then maybe Ria should get a job and help out. You know, take some responsibility. I got in my car and rolled down the window. Tell Ria I said congratulations on the graduation. I hope the degree was worth it. I drove away, leaving Danny standing in the parking garage. That night, the group chat went silent. But I knew it was just the calm before the storm. The email arrived Monday morning at 6:47 a.m. Subject: We need to talk. Dad. Nora, we know what you did. We've spoken to lawyers and the bank. You used your power of attorney to steal from us. This is fraud, and we're prepared to press charges unless you fix this immediately. You have 48 hours to reverse this mortgage and return our money, or we're going to the police. We raised you better than this. Dad. I read it twice, then forwarded it to Hayden with a note. Is this legal threat legitimate? He called me within an hour. They're bluffing, he said. You had legal authority to take out that mortgage. They gave you that authority willingly. So, they can't do anything? They can try to revoke the power of attorney going forward, but they can't undo what you already did legally. Good to know. Nora, are you sure you want to keep pushing this? They sound desperate. They should have thought about that before they spent 8 years lying to me. That afternoon, I got a call from an unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Nora, this is Mom. Her voice was barely a whisper. I'm borrowing a friend's phone because you blocked ours. Please don't hang up. I didn't say anything. Honey, I don't understand what's happening. Why are you doing this to us? You know why. Because we asked for help over the years. Because we're your family and we needed you. Because you lied to me. We never lied. The mortgage was paid off 3 years ago, Mom. 3 years, and you kept taking my money. Silence. We had other expenses. You had other wants. There's a difference. Rhea needed support. She was in school. She was struggling. I was struggling too. I've been struggling for 8 years while you spent my money on luxuries. They weren't luxuries. They were necessities. A $40,000 car is not a necessity. She needed reliable transportation. She needed a job. Mom's voice cracked. You're going to make us homeless. No, I'm going to make you responsible for your own lives. We can't afford a $900 mortgage payment. Your father's business isn't doing well, and I haven't worked in years. Then maybe it's time to figure it out. Nora, please. I'm begging you. We'll pay you back, I promise. Just don't do this. Pay me back with what money? We'll sell the car. We'll downsize. We'll do whatever it takes. You'll sell Rhea's car? If we have to. Yes. And she's okay with that? Another long pause. She'll understand. Family comes first. Does it? Because for 8 years, Rhea came first, not family. Rhea. That's not fair. What's not fair is that I lived like a pauper so she could live like a princess. You chose to help us. I chose to help you based on lies. I was shouting now, and I didn't care who heard me. You told me you were going to lose the house. You told me you couldn't make ends meet. You manipulated me into giving you my life savings while you spent it on bullshit. Language, Nora. Don't you dare police my language right now. Mom started crying. I don't know what happened to you. You used to be such a sweet, caring girl. I used to be a doormat. There's a difference. We love you. You love my money. You've never loved me. That's not true. When's the last time you called me just to see how I was doing? When's the last time you asked about my life, my job, my happiness? When's the last time you cared about anything other than what I could give you? Silence. I can't remember either, I said. Nora, please. I hung up. 2 hours later, I got an email from Rhea. Subject: You're destroying our family. I can't believe you're doing this to Mom and Dad. They're old, Nora. They can't handle this stress. Mom hasn't eaten in 3 days and Dad's blood pressure is through the roof. Is this what you wanted? To make them sick with worry? I know you're angry about the money, but we never forced you to send it. You offered. You wanted to help. And now you're acting like we committed some crime by accepting help from our own daughter. You want to know the truth? Fine. Yes, we used your money for things other than the mortgage. But so what? We're a family. Families share resources. Everything we spent that money on benefited the whole family. The house improvements, my education, the car that I used to help Mom with errands and Dad with his business. You act like we stole from you, but we didn't. We invested your money in our family's future. In my future. And I'm grateful for that, even if you're not. But this mortgage thing, this is cruel. This is vindictive. This is you trying to punish us for not being grateful enough for your martyrdom. Well, congratulations, Nora. You've successfully destroyed the people who love you most. I hope it was worth it. Don't bother coming to Christmas. You're not welcome here anymore. Ria. I read the email 3 times, then started typing my response. Ria, you're right about one thing. I did want to help my family. I spent 8 years sacrificing my own happiness, my own future, my own life to help people I loved. But here's what you don't understand. Love isn't transactional. Family isn't a business arrangement where one person gives and everyone else takes. You say I'm destroying our family? Our family was destroyed the moment you all decided I was worth more as a bank account than as a person. You want to know what's cruel and vindictive? Lying to someone for 8 years, taking their money under false pretenses, laughing about how they're finally useful for something. I heard you, by the way, all of you, laughing about me on the porch that night. So, no, I won't be coming to Christmas. Not this year, not next year, not ever. You taught me that family is transactional. Well, congratulations, the transaction is over. Nora. I hit send and immediately blocked all their email addresses. Then I called Annalise. It's done, I said when she answered. How do you feel? I looked around my small apartment, really looked at it, at the second-hand furniture, the empty refrigerator, the stack of bills on my counter. Free, I said. For the first time in 8 years, I feel free. The moving truck pulled away from my new apartment building on a crisp October morning. 2 bedrooms, hardwood floors, a kitchen island I'd dreamed about for years. I could afford it now. This place is gorgeous, Annalise said, helping me unpack boxes in the living room. Look at this view! Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, the city sprawled out below us. My city now. A fresh start, 3 states away from the mess I'd left behind. I still can't believe you actually did it, she said, pulling books from a box. Most people just fantasize about getting revenge on their families. Most people don't have families like mine. My phone buzzed on the counter. A text from Jessica, my old co-worker. Saw the house listing online. Your parents' place sold fast. Everything okay? I'd been getting updates through mutual connections for weeks now. The house had gone on the market in August, sold in September. My parents were renting a small apartment across town. Ria had moved in with Danny. The red convertible was gone. You're smiling, Annalise observed. Am I? It's kind of terrifying, actually. I started arranging books on my new built-in shelves. Real books, not library copies. Another luxury I could finally afford. The doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone. Through the peephole, I saw a delivery driver holding an envelope. Nora Harvey? That's me. Certified mail. I signed for it, recognizing the return address immediately. My parents' lawyer. Annalise watched me open it. What is it? They're suing me. For what? I scanned the legal document. Emotional distress, financial abuse, breach of fiduciary duty. Can they do that? They can try. I called Hayden. I was wondering when this would happen, he said after I read him the complaint. Don't worry about it. You acted within your legal rights. They gave you power of attorney. You used it. End of story. So, this is just harassment? Pretty much. They're hoping you'll settle out of guilt or fear. Don't. I won't. I forwarded the lawsuit to the lawyer I'd hired with my newfound financial freedom. Let him handle it. That evening, I was cooking dinner in my actual kitchen when my phone rang. Unknown number, but local area code. Hello? Nora, it's Emily, your cousin. I almost hung up, but curiosity won. How did you get this number? I have my ways. Look, I know you don't want to talk to your family right now, but I thought you should know. Your mom's in the hospital. My hand tightened on the phone. What happened? Panic attack. She's been having them since the house sold. She's okay, but she keeps asking for you. I'm sure she does. Nora, I know they hurt you, but she's your mother. My mother spent 8 years lying to me and stealing my money. She made mistakes. She made choices. Now she's living with the consequences. She's family. Family doesn't treat each other the way they treated me. Emily sighed. What do you want me to tell her? Tell her I hope she gets better, and tell her to stop having people call me. I hung up and blocked the number. The next morning brought another surprise, an email from an address I didn't recognize. NoriaHarvey2024@gmail.com. My name, spelled wrong. Nora, this is your sister. I'm using a new email because you blocked my old one. I need to talk to you. Please. Ria. I stared at the message for a long time, then typed back. No. Her response came immediately. I know you hate me. I know you think I'm spoiled and selfish. Maybe I am, but I never asked for any of this. You never asked them to stop, either. I was young. I didn't understand. You're 24 years old. You understood perfectly. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry we took your money. I'm sorry we lied. I'm sorry we made you feel like you didn't matter. You're sorry you got caught. No, I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry I was so blind to what you were sacrificing for us. I started to type a response, then deleted it. Started again, deleted again. Finally, your apology doesn't change anything. I know, but I had to try. I miss you, Nora. I miss my sister. Your sister was a bank account with feelings. She doesn't exist anymore. That's not true. It is true. The person who sent you money every month, who worried about your problems, who put your needs before her own. She's gone. I killed her. Nora. Don't contact me again, Ria. I mean it. I blocked the new email address and closed my laptop. That afternoon, I did something I hadn't done in 8 years. I went shopping for myself. New clothes, new shoes, new everything. I bought art for my walls, plants for my windowsills, wine for my cabinet. I bought a life. At the checkout counter, the cashier smiled at me. Someone's having a good day. Someone's having a good life. Walking to my car, arms full of bags, I felt my phone buzz one last time. Another unknown number, another message. This is your mother. I know you don't want to hear from me, but I need you to know something. We never meant to hurt you. We love you. We've always loved you. I know you don't believe that now, but it's true. I hope someday you can forgive us. I hope someday you can come home. Mom. I read it twice, then typed back, I am home. I deleted the message and drove to my beautiful apartment, where I cooked dinner in my beautiful kitchen and slept in my beautiful bed, surrounded by beautiful things I'd bought with my own money. The money they'd taught me was mine to spend. For the first time in years, I slept through the night without dreaming about bank transfers and family emergencies. I dreamed about the future instead. And in that future, I was finally, completely, gloriously free.